Mensaje que iba a llegar supuestamente en caso de temblor, no me llegó ningún mensaje. Qué fuerte. Oh, su madre.
Fernando Caballero. Tranquilo. Cálmese, por favor.
Me encanta. Llegando a... Pasamos San José. Fuerte el temblor, ¿ah? A la mierda. ¿Está temblando? ¡Vicente! ¡Ven, ven, ven, ven!
Viene más fuerte. Viene más fuerte.
Wow! Wow! Wow, it's like Mars out here. This ain't even picking up the color.
We're gonna do this. Hey, you better get home, man. Oh, the is she rolling in?
The net just ripped off. The net's ripping off.
Oh. Oh my.
in Alaska is causing record flooding, setting off a disaster emergency declaration this weekend. Now, the National Weather Service in Fairbanks shared this video from the town of Manly Hot Springs. The National Weather Service said flood levels were at the highest they've been in 45 years, and they were approaching the record set back in 1956.
Tornado almost came through here. Look at the hood on that car.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's one right there too.
Camper on the side.
Yep.
Look at that whole house is gone.
Wow, that's beautiful. At 5:51 in the morning, this is what we see in the sky.
No gas, no fuel, and various essential medications.
I decided to proceed with my own research and to produce my own videos on the subject. Now, over a year later, and after 100 videos with you, we have looked through countless accounts of what we have labeled the Old World, a CIA document that was released to the public in recent years, but the document itself comes to us from right after World War II. It details how the Soviet Union was rewriting the history of a land known as Tartary. At one time, this was a massive disclosure, which led many of us to strive for further proofs of this lost empire. However, that document, in my opinion, is just a small morsel or crumb compared to the overarching narrative which is being hidden behind closed doors.
These things have been in there hours. You put in metal. It may, if the metal did not melt, at least it would conduct the heat and keep the heat for so long that you couldn't get near it, well, within hours. Well, look at that. You can take this off. It dissipates the heat so quickly that you can actually pick these up while they're glowing, molten in the middle.
How hot are they?
No, they were in the oven at 2,200 degrees.
Wow.
This is the surplus from NASA year after year. There's vacuum chambers, actual engines, actual motors. This is the lost technology that NASA talks about. If they say it's a painful process to build a package. On behalf of Flat Earth, I present to you the painful process of going to the moon that they've scrapped entirely since the 60s. In 50 years, this stuff's been sitting right here. So we're in a place called Norton Sales. It's in North Hollywood, and they've been buying surplus for years. At the end of a project, Gemini, Apollo, or something, by government process, it shuts down fiscally, and it has to go to auction, and they sell the entire building, desks and everything. This is where it ended up, and they scrap certain things, and they keep other things. We don't think rockets...
People are so completely miseducated that they think the sun is 93 million miles away, but they also think that the heat can travel through an infinite vacuum of space to arrive here, and they can feel it. This is not logical at all. No reasonable thinking mind would ever think this could be possible. When a cloud moves in front of the sun, can you not feel it? One of us was lied to.
To become a junior vice president. As stated, I had a life that anyone would be jealous of. In 2008, tragedy struck and I lost my job at Lehman Brothers. No, I was not one of the responsible parties for the housing bubble crash. I was, however, a tragedy of it. As with others who had taken out loans and such that they couldn't afford, I ended up defaulting and eventually the bank took my home. After losing the house and my job, I fell into a deep state of depression. My wife and my daughter were the pillar that kept me going. I went from living in $1 million home to living in my parents' guest house with my wife and daughter. I went from making mid-six figures a year to making $40,000 a year. Life, I thought, couldn't get any worse. How wrong I truly was. On the way home from picking up our daughter, my wife lost control of the car that she was driving and ended up flipping it into the Jersey wall on the interstate. I was told by the state trooper and medical examiners that her and my daughter died almost instantly. Yeah, 2008 was the worst year of my life. I began to crumble back, just waiting for my death to come. I am not sure what happened after that. I remember closing my eyes and then there was nothing. I cried out to my wife and daughter, telling them how much I loved and missed them. I knew that my fate was sealed. That is when I heard it. You who have defiled your own body, what makes you think you deserve to leave this place? Who's there? I remember asking timidly. It only kept repeating its first question over and over. I don't deserve to leave, I said weakly. Yes, I have brought this suffering onto myself, but I had no idea what else I was supposed to do. I still had no idea who or what this voice was. It was neither malicious or joyful. It sounded more like it was bored that it had to deal with me. Its words, when it spoke again, chilled me. Even though I didn't have flesh or bone, the words chilled me. Are you ready to be judged? The voice in the darkness asked. Yes, let's just get on with it. Stop wasting my time. I said, but used a lot of other bad words. Very well, you will be judged based on what you did and didn't do in your life. It said. The area where the speck of light was immediately illuminated the area, and I was watching myself in high definition. I saw where I had lied and cheated my friends out of money earned for doing various odd jobs by telling them that homeowners had paid less than what we expected. I watched as I backstabbed a coworker over an important job that they had done most of the work on, so that I got the credit instead of them. That same coworker who subsequently went home and took their own life after they were fired. Lastly, I saw the one that truly shattered my soul. While out of town on business, I cheated on my wife. The worst part was that she knew the entire time. I had lied and stolen and committed just about every sin known to man. I knew that I was undeserving. The life review sputtered a bit, and then I saw my wife and baby girl flash on the screen. Please stop, I said. The life review stopped on the screen where my wife had just given birth. Due to work, I missed that as well. The life review continued on. It showed how I was always too busy to play with my daughter or take my wife out to dinner. Finally, it stopped on me sitting back in that recliner. No movement. Nothing. "What do you have to say?" asked the voice. "There is nothing to say. I am a horrible person. I thought all this time I was a good person, but in the end I wasn't. Stand. There are people here to see you," he instructed. When I got to my feet, I saw my Jade first. All of the emotion that I had been keeping down burst forth like a broken dam. All I could do was mutter how sorry I was, that I was always too busy with work to play with her. "It's okay, Daddy, you're here now." We played games for hours like any father should do. I ran with my baby girl. It was something that I wished would never end. Then I caught a glimpse of Donna in the distance. I thought about how I wanted to be beside her, and I was. I hugged her and told her how sorry I was. "It's time to go, Jacob," Jesus said to me. "Please no, I want to stay. I can't do this without them," I cried. Jesus placed his arm on me, and I immediately felt a calmness and love that no amount of words can describe. He then said, "You don't have to do it without them. They are always here with you." As he touched my chest, I felt what can only be described as an electrical sensation around that area. I looked up in time to see Jade waving to me and mouthing what appeared to be the words, "Bye, Daddy." I awoke to find multiple medical professionals frantically working on me. "He's back, doctor." I heard one of the nurses scream out. Then came the barrage of questions. "Do you know what day it is? Do you know where you are? Do you know who the President of the United States is?" Over the next several days, I found out that my mom had been the one to find me. I found out that one of the two main arteries in my heart was 100% blocked, and the other one was 40% blocked. The loss of oxygen to the brain has caused some issues, but nothing that hasn't healed over time. I will not say that life immediately improved after my experience. What I will say is that after many months of struggling, I kicked my habits and began to get my life back together. I became a member of my local church and was baptized after accepting Jesus as my Savior. Through that church and my faith, I am happy to say that I am going on 10 years clean. If you have kids, go play with them. Tell them you love them. Trust me, your work can wait an hour or 10. It can always wait. Don't be like me. The loss that I feel daily will never go away, but I know that Donna and Jade are waiting for me. As much as I wanted to stay, God gave me a second chance, a chance that he did not have to.